What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is the show about manhood, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And we'll probably sprinkle in some helpful real estate advice too, because that's what Pat and I do. You know, guys, life can be tough. We can go through some things and struggle at times, but this is the show to let you know that you're not alone. So if you're anyone out there going through any of these things, this is the show for you. Shout out to our friends at NeuroGum for keeping us energized and focused. NeuroGum is a chewing gum as well as mints. It's got a little bit of caffeine, L-theanine, and vitamins B6 and 12. Helps with memory and focus. I like to chew it really all the time. I'm driving around showing houses, making phone calls. I'll chew a piece before jiu-jitsu class or, before a CrossFit workout. Really just anytime I feel like I need a little bit of a mental boost and need to focus, I'll pop a piece and it gets me to where I need to be. So get out there and try some NeuroGum.
And shout out to our people over at Captain Beard Co. They've got amazing beard oils, balms, butters, everything you can think of for beard care, but they also have shampoo and conditioner, body wash, and they make these amazing smelling candles. And the great thing about all their stuff is it's made with natural ingredients. They don't use a lot of them, and it's just all natural locally here in St. Louis. So if you go in, check out their website, and use the promo code Zach and Pat, you'll get 10% off your purchase. All their stuff like I said, it all smells amazing. They've got tobacco, vanilla, mahogany teak wood, coastal drift. They got a few different smelling smells, and they're all amazing. So check out Captain Beard Co.
Promo code Zach and Pat for 10% off. All right, guys. Now to introduce our awesome guest today. He is a father. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, the managing partner of Blue Spark, the great and powerful Kevin Smith.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
What's up, dude?
Thanks
Great to
for
be
coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Dude, I don't know. I'm really stoked just right at the beginning, this beard oil. I'm looking across the table.
Yeah. Smells good, right?
Some fantastic beards here.
Yeah, well, we tried.
Absolutely.
I
Try
I
to
should just trim mine this morning, so
Yeah.
I wondered I was looking a
I
little
just
scruffy.
shaped mine up the other day. I got to clean it up a little bit. But
Yeah. You always got to get it off the neck, you
Yeah.
know, because otherwise you look a little.
Yeah.
Got to keep it clean.
Got to keep it clean. So, Kevin, why don't you tell the listeners just a little bit about yourself? Like tell us, kind of the origin story.
Yeah, sure, guys. So I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. Grew up really into wrestling, grappling, football. My dad played college football. He was a lot bigger than me. Got stuck with this.
Yeah.
My mom always went to keep me really, really entertained. So I grew up in bands and things like that. So not only was I a band nerd, I was also a sport nerd.
What instruments do you play?
Dude, guitar, sax, drums. Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of bass.
Nice.
Everything.
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
Clarinet.
What was your
Yep.
favorite? I always thought the saxophone sounded really just sexy.
Dude.
Like that's just like a sexy sounding instrument.
I was best at sax. Guitar's the most fun.
For
Is it?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
guitar's
grew up
my
playing
fun.
guitar too. I haven't picked one up in 10 years, but probably more than that, honestly. But it's always something I say I'm going to get back into, but I just never
Well,
have.
You've got responsibility now, right?
Yeah, it's a lot, because it's like I've only got so many hours in the day. That's the hard part. And so you said you played in was it this school bands or did you play in rock bands or
Yeah,
what?
man. So yeah, I played in 2 school bands, but also had a band that played in venues
Oh, cool.
outside. Yeah. So my very first show that I ever played was at the High Point. You guys remember this
Yeah.
place?
Yeah.
On Skinker? So
Yeah.
you had to load all your shit and up this 25 steps.
Oh,
Wow,
Yeah.
gosh.
It's here you are with a half cab and drum sets and all sorts of stuff, skinny little.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That
And then you
sounds
get on the floor and the floor just
really.
it dips. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's obviously no longer around.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's right next to where the High Point Drive, the High Point
Mhm.
Burger Place and all that stuff is, right?
Yeah. Or if
Kinda
you're a
right.
menace, what's that bar? Par Bar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so you grew up, playing music. And
Yep. Music, into grappling, went away from school, started as a finance major in college, switched to English. Numbers end up freaking me out, which is funny because that's all I do all day, every day now. Started my very first company when I was in college, moved back here, tried doing the same thing, lost my money, went to work for a different guy, and then I started Big Blue Spark in 2018.
And what was
Yeah.
the first job? The first company you started?
It was the first company I started was Make a Scene Production, so I just booked bands
Okay.
at risk, did promotion. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. You just book venues for them or?
Yeah, I'd book the venues, book the band, do the negotiation, do the marketing, ticketing, stuff like that.
Very
And for multiple venues or just one venue?
Multiple venues.
Gotcha.
Oh,
So
very
you're almost
cool.
like a manager to these bands.
So yeah,
Kind of.
not really, because I
No?
was always trying to get them cheaper than they wanted to come here for.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was the guy taking the risk to bring them to St. Louis.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Cool. And what any big name bands that you were able to get here to St. Louis or anything that took off?
So I think my favorite one was I booked the Civil Wars. You guys remember them?
Mm-mm.
It was a male and female like folk duo. Booked them in Cicero's. There were 20 people there, and I was like, these guys are gonna be awesome. The next year they came back, they dropped an album, and they sold out the pageant.
Oh
Damn.
shit.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
It's like
That's sweet.
I was like, dang, why didn't I get that date?
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
I
so
brought you here.
Yeah, it's like brought you. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Little,
Cicero's is what's launched your career.
yeah, a little loyalty
Yeah.
here, guys. It'd be
yeah,
great.
throw me a bone here. So you did that. What year is this when you were doing this?
Jeez, guys, that would have been like 2010 to 2013 or 14,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
And then so after that, you did what?
Went to work for a different agency in town. Not going to name names because
Yeah.
I don't want to give them any promo.
Mhm.
Yeah. For sure.
Understand.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then I launched Big Blue Spark in 2018.
Okay. So
It's
tell us
along the similar lines, or what's Big Blue Spark?
Pretty much same thing. We do things a tiny bit differently without getting into too much of the nitty gritty because no one really cares. But we produce galas, nonprofit events, concerts, fairs, festivals, and corporate.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're not at risk right now. So pretty much people hire us to provide the service. But we are adding an event next year where we are actually the promoters of taking the gamble.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you say what that event is, or is that kind of quiet right now?
I'll put it this way: I'm not going to say the name or the venue yet. But it's the theme is basically an adult day camp.
Okay.
Okay.
So think of all the shit we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
We're just going to do that for adults,
Okay.
21 and up.
That
That's
sounds
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just throwing some
Wait,
alcohol.
do you know where it's going to be?
I do.
Just
Okay,
can't announce
Can't
it.
announce it.
I'm not going to
Cool.
announce it,
That's
We
fine.
won't-
We're not going to
Yeah.
push
Yeah,
it.
we
Not
won't
gonna
push
do
that.
but I'll make sure I send you guys tickets.
Yeah, for sure.
Let
We'll
us
go.
know. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We'll promote it on here, and yeah, let's shoot. If you give us tickets, we'll raffle
there.
them off here or sell them off.
Yeah,
here,
that'd be great. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
slip and slides, water gun fights, color wars, you name it. Like that's
Sweet.
That's
Awesome.
what we're going
I
for.
love it.
just,
Cool.
just a bunch of grown folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just grown folks running around like kids. I
Pretty
love it.
much.
Perfect. Sounds like fun. So, and you do jujitsu. What gym are you out of?
Revive BJJ,
Okay.
St. Peter's. So part of TAC team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Zach, yep. Oh, I mean, you're at Watson's too,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into jiu-jitsu? When did that?
So I started jiu-jitsu in 2016. I needed something to do. I'm growing up wrestling. I was getting kind of lazy and
Where'd you wrestle at?
CBC.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Just getting kind of lazy and wanted something to do. So I started at ATT Evolution in Tyron's
Yep,
gym.
Tyron's gym.
Jason Smith was the head coach there.
Yep.
So I started training with him in 2016. He moved and started at Maelstrom. So I followed him there, and then I jumped to Revive in 2021.
Okay.
Yep. So
Why'd you make the jump? If
Dude,
you don't.
no, I mean I don't mind. I don't mind saying it. I mean, it's anything I would say to Jason. I think it was. I wanted to get to a place where I don't think I was able to get when I was at Maelstrom. Right, like it's like I wasn't getting younger. I wanted to compete a little bit more, but I also wanted to be around people that also had that competition mindset. And it's a big difference,
For
you know,
sure.
when you have
You got several world champions at Revive.
when you have several world champions there, right? And you have coaches that still compete.
Yes.
And I think Jason is an amazing black belt. I mean, if you ever roll with him, it's just super, super technical. But there's that difference between we're crushing it in the room, but then also learning and doing those things that win you matches,
Mhm.
right? So it's a different mindset. And that's really what pushed me to. I was like, I'm looking at Revive. This is like if I want to be a dog, I got to go train with a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Dude.
yeah.
I've taken that mentality into jiu-jitsu, but also into, I mean, it's kind of what led me into the real estate company that I'm at right now. Cause I was at one where I just feel like I wasn't being pushed. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go join one where there's a room full of killers and I'm going to go over there and be a killer.
Well,
you
there's
know?
that mindset, right? Like evolve or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many people get complacent.
Yeah, we talk about that. That's a pretty much general theme through what we talk about here is if you're not growing, you're dying. So
So you started training in 2016, moved over to Revive in 2021. So how you compete pretty regularly, don't you?
Yeah, dude, I didn't. So I got my brown belt earlier this year. I didn't compete as much as I wanted to. I had that pro fight in June.
Yeah.
Next year, I'm trying to fill up my schedule a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, the jump's been great.
Oh, so did he?
Yeah, he
did-
was on the
oh,
first,
Adam,
the
one-
not the last one, but the one before
before?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And who'd you go against? This guy out of Arnold, right? Or the Boggy guy, right? Because remember that match? Because that guy was huge. Remember we were looking at that, like, yeah, dude, we were like, it's like, there's no way that these guys were the same.
Dude, so I
That's like that
Well-
dude is like just giant.
well, you know Sella,
Yes,
right? So it's
of
like,
course.
so I walk in, and he's like, "Did you see your guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you gonna go walk over there and see what he weighs in it?" I'm like, "Adam, you're the one that booked him for me."
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think it matters at this
Yeah,
point.
At
Like,
this point, I'm
now,
here.
dude.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking
I'm like,
do it. You
yeah,
know, I'm
like-
not gonna back out now.
I'm like, this guy's
When I
fucking huge.
Yeah, because you look like a big bitch if you're like, oh, this guy's too big. I
This
don't
guy's
wanna
too
do it."
big.
He was
I
the
do.
guy with the massive lower half. Like he just
No,
had-
his arms. Dude, his arm. Like
All
yeah.
of him was massive.
Yes,
yeah.
he was just.
I'm trying to remember. There's
Saucy.
one guy that had just massive fucking legs.
Dude,
But-
so he walked out. My mom was on stage, right? And a couple of my buddies, and my mom's like, "Is Kevin scrapping against that guy?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, I think so." She's like, "Shit."
Dude, he was just big.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
just big
just a,
He's a big
but
dude.
I mean, you beat him, right?
Yeah,
I beat him.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
beat
I
him.
beat him.
Yeah, so
But that's the thing in jiu-jitsu.
It's not
size,
always-
That's
not
always
always-
about what
size
you look
doesn't
like and
always matter.
size.
Well, it's super funny because like after the match, he told Jasmine, he's like, "Gosh," he's like, "that Kevin guy's hard to move." I was like, "Bro,"
yeah, you're a big old
Right.
boy.
I was like, "Did you see you?"
Yeah, I was like, at that point, you almost don't want him to weigh in, or at least I wouldn't want him to weigh in, just because I'm like, fuck, it's gonna fuck with my head
Dude-
if I know this dude's 20 pounds heavier than
Dude,
me,
I actually
and I'm gonna
thought,
give myself that excuse.
dude,
Like,
I
oh.
thought about like drinking a sweat while I was out there, just to, like try to gain any advantage to see if there was, I don't know what he's taking.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I was
well,
like-
he-
I was like, maybe it'll help.
yeah, he's on something for sure. I mean, yeah, dude, that was a good match though, if I remember right. Dude, so what did you think of competing on that? Was that the first time you ever done one like that?
Dude, that was my first super fight, and I
Yeah.
loved it. And I mean, to be honest with you, I think I was less nervous for that than I was at tournaments.
Tournaments,
I was like, I can go out and give anyone hell for 5 or 6 minutes in
Yeah.
one match, and
Mhm.
just
right?
Leave it
It's
out
it's
there.
like it's so nice to just have one match. That's what I've liked about it, because I've done that. I've been on that twice, and then I did the one for Strange Hands, and it's definitely a different environment, just because you got so many eyeballs on you
100%.
versus like a tournament. It's like, okay, you got like your 10 guy, whoever's at the tournament's watching, and it's way less pressure. But
What'd you think of the raised?
not a fan of that.
I mean, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool and it's great for the
But-
spectators.
Yeah,
but,
well,
like,
as a fighter, or
Yeah.
I guess, what did it feel like? I mean,
Bro, you gotta keep that shit tight.
yeah,
Or-
yeah. You got to
or
be
you're-
very careful with
or
your
you're going
takedowns.
off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I was like, man, if anyone's going off this stage, like, it's not gonna be me, right?
No.
Yeah, it's
Like,
got to be him.
I was like, I don't want to hear my mom talking shit after.
Right, but I also don't want to be. I don't want to be double legging this guy into my mom.
Oh, dude, I'd double leg her into that. She'd probably smack him while he was over there.
Yeah.
So, dude, my mom was the mom like in wrestling. She'd be like, "Take him down, Kevin." I'm like,
What do you think I'm doing, mom?
Mom, this guy also trains 6 days a week.
Yeah,
he's
Like,
also
like-
trying to take me
He's
down.
also trying
like-
to take me down.
Yeah.
No, we want to stay on our feet here. No.
But I think it was funny. Like, I actually felt so much better. Like, I loved having friends and family there versus like a lot of these IBJJF tournaments where you're out of town. It's
Yeah.
just you. It's just coaches. Sometimes it's just you.
A little extra motivation. Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah, you're just like,
100%.
yeah, like, I'm not getting my ass beat in front of.
Right, I mean, I remember that, like in baseball, like showing up, or like you pick someone out in the stand, like you don't know anybody, but like you pick somebody out in the stands, like playing for that person.
Yep.
Like just
Mm.
like as motivation, like that person is here to see me play, and I'm
100%.
going off to show off for them.
Yeah, and it's like it's like the thing is like it's a knife's edge. Like, you can either win, you can either lose, and it's like wouldn't be the first time I've lost in my career. It won't be the last.
Right.
Damn, like if I lose, like I'm gonna.
Right.
The leads are gonna make me like we're gonna lose.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I lost my last one 2 weekends ago, and I mean my arm is still sore.
Dude,
Like
it
it wasn't.
was a fucking weird move though.
Yeah, dude, it was. I don't even
Yeah.
know what he did. I mean, I do know what he did now because I've watched the video 100 fucking times.
We're
but-
just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, wait, what?
Dude, I saw that. Like, you just like.
Dude, he put me in like a weird Americana with his legs from bottom of side control, and apparently he does it to everybody. So this past weekend there was made me feel a little bit better. They did like a you heard of quintet?
Yeah.
So they did something like that at which quintet, for those people that aren't familiar, but it's a style of it's like a promotion where basically the team has a total weight. So like, say it's like 600 pounds. So you get 5 guys and or 4 or 5 guys and you got to assemble a team and you can't weigh more than 600 pounds or whatever the number is. And then it's like those teams go up against each other. And, if you've got the first guys going, you pick your lineup and you have your first guys going. If there's no submissions and nobody submits anybody, ends in a draw, then both of those guys are out. But if one submits the other, the guy that won stays in, and you just go down the line, which is pretty cool. Cool, like idea for a way to set it up. But they did something like that out of Arnold, like an in gym competition this past weekend with like a bunch of the 10th Planet guys and a bunch of the Arnold guys. And apparently the guy that I went against got like 3 people in that same fucking stupid submission. So I don't feel as bad because apparently it's just like the only thing he goes for. But it's just like it definitely caught me off guard because if I'm in top of side control, I'm not expecting to be submitted.
That's the last thing you're.
Yeah, 100%. And in the fucking resets, I swept him. We ended up, and I passed his guard, and we ended up like right on the edge of the mat. So they reset us, and then off the reset, he fucking threw it up, and my arm was in there, and I was yelping like a little girl as he because my arm fucking popped.
Dude, and sometimes at those resets, I'm like, shit, I'd much rather just start back up.
Yeah.
Because like
dude, momentum, dude.
You lose that momentum.
I hate it.
Right? Like you can be in heavy side control, cross facing, all sorts of stuff. And it's just like, well, it's kind of hard to replicate in that.
Right.
In that
You can't.
You just really can't.
And then looking back on it, and I was like looking at because I've watched the video so many times. I've looked at where we were, and I definitely didn't reset in the same like where I was.
You never do.
Like, you never know. Right. And like if I would have, of course. And then now I play back all the woulda, coulda, shoulda things, and it's just one of those ones that frustrating.
You learn so much, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I've had some losses. I shouldn't have lost that.
Oh, for sure.
But you never make that mistake again.
Right. Yes, I will be very aware of my arms in that position. From side control. Like nobody does that because everybody in the crowd was yelling buggy choke, and so I'm like posturing up, expecting to, and then when I did that, I'd let go, and then I was loose on that far side underhook, and he shoved my arm in between his legs, and that's how he got it. But I should have just played my game and not been worried about the buggy choke, just because I'm I don't know about you, but I don't see There's one guy in our gym who throws up buggy chokes, and I'm usually pretty good at stopping him. It's not something that I'm too worried about.
And to your defense, I mean, you were training to fight or not to go do a match against Sean Woodson.
Replacement, right?
Yeah, this day before it was supposed to be Sean Woodson, the UFC guy, and I had a whole game plan for him, but that and so I was working on a whole game plan for him the whole month leading up to that, and then it switched the day before, and I was like, fuck, and then
dude, so that was the same thing. I was supposed to have Travis. I forgot his name. He's from St. Charles in May. He dropped like a week before.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we had this feeling because Adam hit me up. He's like, "Have you heard from Travis?" I'm like, and it's like, nor has he promoted this event. So I'm like, I'm not sure he's gonna be here. And then the week out, he's like, "Yeah, Travis dropped. He's hurt." Like,
there it is. Yep. Same thing happened with so I've done that promotion twice. Same thing happened with my first match. It was supposed to be in one guy, ended up being another. Like that one, I wasn't because like the guy that I was supposed to be up against had like no video online or he had nothing to. So I was like, it doesn't matter. It's not like I'm just gonna go out and play my game. It doesn't matter either way. But yeah, it just guess you can't ever count on who your opponent's gonna be.
And see, like I'm so on the fence about this. It's like, do you scout or do you not scout? Right? Because like I mean, and even in baseball, right? It's like
so. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like with baseball, we would get the scouting reports, and we would have one for like the overall year and then where they were like the last week. And you would basically, as a pitcher, you could sit there and kind of pick and choose how you wanted to pitch them. But ultimately, as a pitcher, you want to pitch to your strengths, not their weaknesses, because their weaknesses might be your weaknesses and you might make a mistake that's going to, it's nice to have the information and have it available to at least have an idea of how you want to attack. But ultimately for me, like I was always going to go pitch to my strengths versus pitch to somebody else's weaknesses and just, hey,
just like my best can even beat your best.
Right.
So
exactly.
Yep.
So, and then that's the thing is like, I don't know if I haven't been doing jiu-jitsu very long and haven't done any competitions, but I think I would probably, it'd be nice to know
yeah, if this guy's good at this
Right,
one
like-
thing,
like,
I'm
for
going to avoid
example,
that.
You'll
Like,
avoid
like
that,
you
yeah.
would have you would have been able to know that this is his move.
frustrating part
Like-
is I did know that was his move, but he did it from he normally does it from top of, he's got 2 videos online of him. He'll be in top of side control and he'll switch to a scarf hold. Like, and I was
Yep.
like, that's weird. And, which is like, nobody does that. And, but he did it. He basically put me in a scarf hold from bottom position, which is very unconventional.
Yep.
And so I was like, I didn't expect it to come from there. I knew that if he got on top and he was in top side control, to look out for that. And I worked scarf hold defense like the night before, because I changed the day before. And everybody's like, oh, he's really good at that scarf hold move. So like I was like, oh, let me refresh myself on how to get out of a scarf hold. And but I didn't end up even getting there, because I was like, well, I don't want to end up on bottom side control. Like that was just stay out of that position and I'll be all right. And didn't ever get there, but he still ended up getting me.
Yeah,
But
that's just grimy. You can't really do much about that.
frustrating. I promise you I won't get put in that submission again. That's for sure.
All
I
right,
will,
and then you fight him again, and now
now I know.
you know what he has. So
For sure. Yeah, I still got to go to a 10th Planet open mat one of these days and go get around and make myself feel better.
Which one was he training out of? Crystal City or?
Yeah, Crystal City,
Okay.
or the fastest one, or Tanglefoot, and they renamed it.
Okay. Oh, that's what they renamed
They
it.
renamed it to 10th Planet Tanglefoot.
some
Yeah, interesting.
yeah.
That's,
Um,
I bet they're all wearing leopard print too.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
So,
But
but yeah, so we connected at one of our buddies, Low Teat Connor.
Gee.
Low
we,
T
we
Connor.
give him shit all the time.
Yeah, he was on the podcast this
Yeah.
past weekend actually.
Yeah, he's been on a couple times, and we always
guys give him shit.
we always give him shit because we're both on testosterone. We all have low T, so we give him shit because he actually had the highest testosterone levels out of all 3 of us. So we
Yeah,
always
we were just
give-
joking
we give him
about it.
shit.
Because he said somebody at Revive kept calling him that, and so I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's hilarious."
Yeah.
So I was like,
Nah, that boy's strong, man.
Dude,
it's
he's-
insane.
yes,
I'm like,
he's-
damn.
That's-
yeah. he's like a gorilla. It's
Yeah.
fucking frustrating.
yeah, no, that's different. Like Connor's strength is different. It's funny 'cause I was actually just with him 2 weekends ago at the race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
awesome.
wanted to
How
talk
was
to you about
that?
Fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's.
Have you been to F1 before?
That was. I think it was my 3rd or 4th time. Can't
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we it's an annual thing, and then Connor this year is like, hey, we have the RV thing. He's like, come over here. I'm like,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Party
let's-
with those
let's
guys.
do it.
Yes, I mean Susie fed us. You
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
great.
got us drunk.
I love it. Yeah.
Can't complain about that, right?
Is
They
it
really
always,
can't.
is it always in Austin, or how does that work?
So Austin is like the main race in the States, but then they just added Miami like 2 or 3 years ago, and they added Vegas last year. So
Okay.
now there's 3. And
So how many F1 races are there per year?
this
Like-
year it's like 23.
Okay.
It's a long season.
Okay.
It's
so-
basically April through
and
November.
how often do they race? Is it like
Depends
every
where
other
they
week,
are. So
or-
like right now they just did USGP and then they did Mexico City last week, and then they're going straight to Brazil.
okay?
So sometimes it's just back to back to back. Sometimes it's like 2 weeks in between.
And the logistics to get those cars to different places, and just
Dude, all of it.
It's just
paddocks,
in
like
everything.
all of it. Yeah, it's nuts.
that's crazy.
I'd love to go one of these times.
Yeah, I
It
mean, I've
looks
seen
like it's a blast.
I've seen them like movies on stuff like that, but like I've never actually like watched it on TV or
I've
been
heard
to
there's
a
that
race.
show on Netflix that's really good about it.
Drive to Survive.
Yeah,
Yep.
everybody tells me I need to watch that. If I
Which
wanna
is
get
what
into
made it blow up in the States, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
F1 is a European league.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I needed to check it out. I've heard my buddy Nick got really into it. He was like, like following it. And
it's almost like soccer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. I would think also is like if you like the nerd side of it, like these cars are just like absolutely insane, right? Just like how much like balance they can change, like the ratio of the braking, like while they're in the car, the grip that these things take in the corners. It's
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things. Like, I haven't never really been a big car guy. Like,
Yeah,
I've
no.
wasn't ever really into cars like that. But I mean, and people like, oh, all they're doing is driving a car. Like, fuck, you're talking about G forces and
Bro, it's not
stamina.
just
Like,
driving a car.
my
like-
balls would be in my throat.
yeah,
Yeah,
No
way.
Diddy, but like that
Right.
would be.
no Diddy.
no, but yeah, I mean, just the strength that it takes to be able to do that over that period of time. Like, what was I watching? Man, it might have been the Ferrari movie where they were
Yep.
talking about that, or no, it was one of the ones based on a true story where the guy won the video games.
The Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch that, and and then like the accident that he got in and all that stuff. Just like, fuck.
That dude's still racing, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
I have to look that up. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good movie.
That's a good movie.
I enjoyed that movie. So,
But yeah,
but-
we met with
at Connor's.
Connor's thing.
Connor's
at
birthday.
Connor's birthday.
Yeah, we hit it off. We were talking about being parents. So,
Yep.
father, you've got your daughter. How old is she?
She's 6.
6. That's
Just
right.
turned 6,
Same,
like 2 months
same,
ago.
yeah, same as my son.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. She
How's-
started kindergarten.
How's that going?
Loved it. We just got our first report card.
Yeah,
Oh,
killing it.
hell yeah.
Perfect.
I
Coloring
can't
in the
complain.
lines.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like, I have to let you go to Target and buy some shit.
Yeah, there you go. So, how has your experience as a father shaped the way you approach leadership in your business, you think?
Dude, I think being it's super funny because like you look at being a dad, it's like, all right, how can I not screw this up, right? Like, how can I
Constantly.
lead this person to be their best self? And it's like I look at this like, I also try to do the same thing with my team. It's like, how do we lead our team to be the best that they can be? And it's like one of those things. Like, I don't necessarily look at people as like, oh, you have to stay here, right? Like, I want you to go do like, if it's being here, if that's what excites you, that's what really does it for you. Awesome. Like, I want you, like, I want to help you get to where you're trying to be. And I think like just being a dad, like that's really helped me with leading people and even our clients, right? It's
Mhm.
like having patience.
Yeah. Well,
You guys know.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it makes me look at everybody like they were a kid at one point, you know, and it makes me kind of like realize that it makes me just kind of like, all right, I get less frustrated with things than I think I used to, you know, because I'm like, oh, they they don't know.
dude, it's like being on the plane, like a kid screaming. I'm just like,
Oh, dude,
I don't even hear it anymore.
Right.
No.
It just, yeah, white noise.
It's white noise.
Last night, I mean, our kid, our 4-month-old, just basically screamed for 2 hours straight. You know, like we're just trying to get him to go to bed. You know, and then all of a sudden, like right before bed, he just starts crying and screaming. We're like, dude, what's wrong? Like, fed him, did all the things. Like, we, took him outside. Let's go put him in a bath. Let's go do, all these things. And he's just still screaming. And you're just like, eventually you just don't even hear it anymore. You're just like, it's just the worst.
Although 2 hours, that's a lot of screaming.
It was a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. But eventually, and then all of a sudden it just stops, goes down, falls asleep, and you're like, oh, it's like I can hear again.
Dude, like I remember like when Berkeley was born, it was every hour, on the hour, just screaming. Like I would go to
Really?
the office and sleep.
Really?
And she's a baby. It's like,
Yeah.
what can I offer? There's nothing I can
know, dude.
offer this child. He does not want me.
Yeah. That's,
And I'm cool with that.
It's like really frustrating. It is frustrating at first, but then eventually you're just like, there's nothing you just gotta accept that they want their mom.
Yep,
You
pretty
know, and
much.
It's
And we are not it.
yeah.
no, we're not.
It-
And you want to help. You want to offer. What can I do? But there's really nothing other than like get you something to drink, honey.
Dude,
Like,
I was really big into the like, we don't both have to suffer, right?
yes, yeah. That's a
Well, that's the thing. Like, so the biggest thing that shifted between, so like with my ex-wife, was when we switched from breast milk to bottle or to formula, because now she wasn't having to wake up and nurse.
Mhm.
So at that point, we set up a routine. I was always up late. I'm a night owl. I like being up late, and I don't know what it was. It's just probably from years on the road with baseball and having that weird schedule. Used to being up, getting into towns late, all that stuff. So used to being up late. So what we would do is like at 6:00, that would be the last feeding that she did. And then, cause it was like every 3 hours. So she would go to, after she fed, she would go to sleep, and I would do the 9:00, the midnight, and the 3 a.m. And then I would fall asleep.
night shift.
Yeah. Then I would fall. But that's the thing, was like, I mean, I've always been good at functioning on like 5 hours of sleep. So
Yeah.
even at like, and at that time, like, yeah, waking up at 8:00, I was fine. So I would do those 3 feedings, and then she would wake up and do 6. So she was able to get 12 hours of sleep, which after having a kid and all that shit,
It's like hibernation.
Yeah.
yeah, that was like, she needed that. And so that was kind of the routine that we fell in. And then like I would fall asleep, and then I would wake up at 8, and she would do the feedings throughout the day while I was working, and I would come home, and that's how it was. But that wasn't, I mean, that was a couple months in. And so at that point, like, yeah, she needs that 12-hour window to sleep. And that's how we worked it. But
Yeah,
It
we
took a while.
noticed. I noticed that like when we switched, because we didn't even we did breast milk with Calvin for our oldest for like the first 5 or 6 months, and then Gina just didn't want to do it anymore because
It's a lot of work.
well, it's a ton of work. The people that don't know, like, dude, the breast milk or breastfeeding and the pumping and the like, because Gina had like, it's a weird, it seems like a weird thing to complain about, but she's like a super producer. So like she would make like a crazy amount of breast milk every day. Like, and it was just like she had to like keep up and constantly be pumping because otherwise it would hurt. And she was making anywhere from like 60 to 80 ounces a day.
Oh, cow.
Which is fucking nuts.
Wow.
And so like, having to like freeze all that and then like, because we, it's not just the, you got to pump, you got to dump it into things, and then you want to like store them, you got to like freeze them on like you got to put them in the bags and store them,
Flat.
like get them flat.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, it's like a whole thing. And then you're not pumping, you're cleaning the pumps, and then you're freezing the bags, you're organizing them, you're labeling them, putting the dates and all the. She was just doing it constantly, and I'm like, honey, like, why? This is because I could tell it was just stressing her the fuck out constantly. It's just too for me. And then
it's like, we can do that.
I'm like, I'm cool with that. That's what I was a formula baby. I turned out all right, and I but we noticed like right when we switched, I feel like he just started sleeping way like through the night pretty much.
Really?
Like, yeah. And
Yeah, that's
like,
what we
I mean,
should've
both
done.
of our kids other than last night, that last night was kind of a fluke, but I mean, both of our kids sleep like anywhere from like 11 to 12 hours straight through, which is fucking awesome.
Like, so Berkeley will usually go to bed like at 8:30, and she's usually up like 6:30 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty for a
Yeah.
6-year-old, it's
Right.
not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Mine, I mean, I don't know if they do this at my ex-wife's house, but I know they do it at mine because it's at my house. But I'll put them to bed at 8:30, and then usually around 3:30, they're climbing into bed with me, and like, all right, and then like 5:30 rolls around, they're like, all right, they start shifting and moving and kicking, and I'm like, guys, stop.
Dude, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
they're not still when they
No,
sleep.
no.
Yeah, like I'll wake up like sometimes like Berkeley's like sideways. I'm like,
Well, yeah, my oldest one's great. Like he just curls up in a little ball, but my youngest one, oh my gosh, that kid is like he's like in a boxing or kickboxing match in the middle of the night. He's like kicking and throwing punches
against you.
against me. Yeah, I'm just like getting hit in the face and the nuts, and I'm just like,
Dude.
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, Calvin's still, he's 2.5. He's still in a crib. I mean, I think we're gonna be probably switching to a big boy bed here soon because as of right now he can't get out, and and so like that's gonna change.
You have to get up and get him.
Yeah,
I will say.
so that's gonna be a big game changer when he can get out of the and
It was fun watching them become intuitive on how to get out of the crib. Like
Really?
that's like, I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
that's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Is like leaving them in there long enough until they learn how to climb out of the crib.
yeah, well, we still put him in one of those sleep sacks because of that reason, because I think it's like it's gonna make it a lot harder because he's essentially like stuck in a sleeping bag.
Right.
But once, I mean, I'm sure, I bet if we didn't have him in that, he could probably figure out how to get out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was because it was funny because I use those Nanit cameras, so it's like the thing that hangs over, but you can watch it from your phone, and so you get notifications when there's movement or there's noise, and like you can adjust it to like the sensitivity. So obviously, like as they got older, we turned the noise sensitivity down, but kept the movement sensitivity. And so yeah, we would get notifications like there's aggressive movement in the boys' room, and we would turn the camera on and we'd be watching him just
Making the great escape.
Connor would be standing around, he'd be looking around, and he'd be like trying to lift his leg up and climb up one way. And like, oh, it was great. Like we would get it was just pure entertainment watching these kids figure out how to
escape.
They're fun, man.
Yeah. Oliver would like pre-plan his escape because he's a little bit smaller than Connor was. So Kim trying to climb out was tough for him. Like he could get up, but then like he didn't have the wherewithal to like climb over, put his feet around because he wasn't tall enough to get his feet around and all that. So like before bed, we had these big fluffy chairs from Pottery Barn, and he would push it to the side of his bed before he went to bed. And like,
so he had something to jump
so
down.
we weren't paying. Like
He was planning.
I mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would push this thing over, and the back of it came up high enough to where he could climb over and get his foot on that, and then he would like drop down again, and he was down, and then
planned it,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, pre-planned
Dude,
his
that's awesome.
pre-planned his escape. So if he's ever in prison, I know what's going to happen there. He's
Yeah,
going to figure it out.
he's got to figure it out.
He's gonna be like writing you letters from the
Yeah.
inside, and you have to like decode them. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, got it. We figured it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're funnier and shit though. So, but what's it like having a little girl? Because we both have boys. So
Okay, so like at first I was like, shit, I don't know. Like this is scary. Like I've never,
Yeah.
like I'm an only child. I don't even, it's just me and my mom growing up. Like I don't know shit about, right? Like
Right.
especially raising one. It's the coolest thing ever. Though.
daddy's little girl.
Honestly, well, especially like girls mature so much faster. Bro, like like people are like, man, like you don't get like how easy you have it. Like it's easy.
Is it?
Dude, she's smart, she's respectful. Like I've taken her to meetings before, right? Like there's been times like, yeah, there's been times like Susan has to go to like a meeting, and I'm like, can you take her? She's like, I can't take her. I'm like, I guess she's coming to me.
I can't even talk on the phone.
Dude, we did.
They're
this.
always scheming.
Always scheming, man. Like, dude, we walked into this meeting at SLU. I put her headphones on her, iPad in front of her, and she disappeared for an hour and a half. And after the meeting, like all these administrators were like, "How do you?"
Yeah, no, that would never happen.
Yeah,
I think just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But it was funny because like it was one of those things people always ask me like, "Oh, like do you want more kids?" I'm like, "Yeah, I would have been open to it, right?" It's like if I have another girl, well, would you go for a third boy? Like if you did a third, like would you go for a boy? I'm like, look, I can't pick and choose, right?
Right.
I'm like 2 girls, and at this, like statistically, probably speaking, like we're just pushing out girls at this point. It's a third girl, that's 3 weddings.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I looked at things, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. 3 weddings.
I looked at things like, oh, it's a girl. All right, how many weddings? And
Yeah.
that's like, oh, that's your tolerance level.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's
And-
something I always forget about the
and
the
if
wedding thing.
Dude, if I had 2 girls, like, oh shit, I'm just at 2 girls because I'm not paying more. I'm not paying for more than 2 weddings.
Mhm.
And even that's going to probably bankrupt me. So
Yeah.
I mean, one's probably going to bankrupt me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I always forget about that. That's like the thing.
We get the rehearsal dinner.
You get the
Yeah.
rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way more chill.
Yeah, way better. Way better. Oh man.
Yeah, but it's like where are weddings gonna be at? Like you look at all like like how extravagant things get and how expensive things have gotten over the years. I'm like, fuck, weddings are gonna be like easy, like 50 to 100 grand, like in no time.
Yeah.
Dude, we just did a wedding last weekend. We don't produce weddings.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, it was more than 100 grand.
Oh, I believe
Jeez.
it. Yeah,
That's
dude.
insane.
I mean, looking back on what I really don't exactly know the exact dollar amount ours was, but it was far.
Mine was
from cheap.
$132.
Oh, you went to the courthouse.
Yeah.
That's smart. Zach's like,
Smart man. I'm like, wait, what?
what the f-
Yeah.
What coupon did you find?
Yeah, right.
It was on Groupon.
Who did you extort? That's what,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what I'm going to be in the business of, just extorting people.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we so found out like the goal was to get married before Connor was born, but we were renovating my apartment or my condo, and then finally got all that stuff done and moved in at the like middle to end of July, and we went in first week of August for her. Started to doing her, you're 30 days out from due date, so now you're going every week. And we went in that first week of the 30 days, and he's like, Doc was like, I don't know if you guys are gonna make it to the weekend. And we're like, oh shit, we gotta go get married.
Yeah.
So we literally left. We went straight from the doctor's office to the courthouse in Clayton. Luckily, so the only day you can do it is on Wednesdays.
It's Wednesdays. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
so we were there for Wedding Wednesday, and we got there we got in and got the license and our marriage certificate and all that, and shot on over to the courthouse, and we just got in. We almost missed. We might have had to push it another week if we had not gotten in there in time. So but yeah, we went straight from that to the doctor's office to the courthouse and got married. Called our friends on the way.
Every little girl's dream.
Hey, City of Clayton does it right though. My buddy just got married there. When was it? Late last year, early this year? I don't remember. Time's relevant, but The Clayton Courthouse is a nice little production.
Yeah, it's
man.
not bad.
Oh, yeah.
They do a pretty good
They
job.
do a pretty good job.
Hey, at
Yeah.
least it's in Clayton. You know?
Right. Well, and we got there. We were obviously we were last. Everybody else was in front of us, but I mean, there were big groups there, like all dressed up in their wedding dresses and tuxedos, and I mean, Melissa and I are showing up. She's in her maternity clothes, and I'm in my polo shirt and dress
Golf pants,
Yeah.
It works.
Right. It does. And
Yeah,
like I said, it
that's
was
fun.
$132. It was nice.
Yeah, that part's nice for sure.
Well, for sure. So, but yeah, no, it was an experience. But and we were going to do a destination wedding the following year, and we started planning that, and that was going to cost us for 2 weeks down at Playa Mujeres, and for like 30 guests to attend a wedding, for like the wedding and the ceremony and all the food and everything, plus our 2 weeks was going to be like 12 with round trip tickets and everything. So yeah, it was we were looking to it, and then all of a sudden we were getting ready to put our deposit down, and she's like, "Pat, I'm pregnant again." Like, well, there goes that.
Yeah.
We'll try again next year.
Yeah.
But you know how that pregnancy thing works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we never had sex again.
Yeah.
We were batting 1,000 at that point.
My man couldn't miss, dude. Miss.
Strong swimmers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Something.
Bosnian women are very fertile.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Oh man. So
So I want to talk a little bit more about Big Blue Spark. So how exactly did you? I mean, obviously you had your previous previous job where you kind of were doing the but so then that kind of led you into this. So what exactly do you guys do? You put on these events, right? So is that you like coordinating with the venue and then the people throwing the event and you kind of like organizing it, or exactly kind of tell me how does it all play out?
Dude, so we do as much or as little as you need, right? So we have clients where there's like, hey, we have this idea. We know we want to do this. Like, you guys take it from here. So we'll, do the theme development, what people are actually going to do at this thing, the budget, the timeline, technical direction and production. So like sound, lights, video,
Okay.
Booking, entertainment. I mean, graphic design, art direction, like the entire thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And there's some people that just say, hey, like, we just need you to book a band, or we need you to design, a creative suite. It just depends. So, yep, we're overall creative agency, and it started off as a event production company, but then COVID happened. Obviously, you have to.
Yeah, that probably really
Events
fucked
weren't
things
fucking
up.
happening,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So what did you? Yeah, tell me how that pivot happened.
So I would say we were probably I think we were like the second agency in town to really like go the virtual route. Like, so it was like March of 2020 or whatever. We watched like 90% of our revenue just fucking run out the door. It's like, sucks.
Shit.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, like most of our clients, at this point, I would say like 80% of our clients are nonprofit. So like it was an easy thing. It's like, well, they still need to raise money. So how can we do a thing where they can still host an event, but in a virtual space? Dude, I think that year we only ended up losing like 30 or 40 grand. So we were able to claw back.
Wow.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
impressive.
a lot more work. And everyone thought, oh, it's the internet, so it's free or it's cheaper. And I'm like, you still need to develop this content,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And like, unless you just want to sit on the Zoom and talk to people for an hour. So like we were building sets out, sending catering and all sorts of shit to people's houses. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I never want to do COVID again. Hopefully this country never does that shit.
Yeah,
again, right?
obviously.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page there.
Well, and I think we're at a point now where everybody went through it and they're like, all right, yeah, fuck this. I'm
Yeah,
not
we're
listening.
never
Yeah.
falling for that shit
Yeah.
again.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous business just walking out your front door. Like,
Right.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and especially people like, I don't know about you, you probably didn't stop training jujitsu that whole time. I mean, like I was training every day, pretty much.
Dude, so it was super funny. So I was still at Maelstrom at that point,
Okay.
and Jason's like, "Oh, I guess we'll do like this whole shut down thing." And 2 weeks later, it's like, "You guys want to come back and train?" We're like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he just took the sign off the door.
Coming through the back door or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it was,
it's
like we all figured out a way to still train.
Just figure out a way. And dude, here's one day, one of the guys I trained with, he comes in, and he's just like, "Hey, bro, you good?" He's like, "Oh, it's just allergies." I'm like, "Dog, it's June."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
Like,
allergy.
bro, it's not allergy. That's COVID. The entire room had it.
Yeah.
Really?
I haven't had it again since.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
didn't either.
I felt
chances
like
are
dog
most
shit,
of
though.
those guys, yeah, you probably, but then you survived it though, I mean, it's so weird how it affected everybody so differently. Like I had it and I felt bad for like a day. I had a day where I was bad, but then guys like my dad had, he had fever for like 2 weeks straight, and
Slung
then,
fever.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
long, and we had a client of ours close last week. I mean, he was hospitalized, put on a ventilator,
So he said he was in a coma.
yeah, in a coma for like 40 days or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I had it, and I didn't even know I had it. I
Yeah.
found out, so it was at Thanksgiving. My buddy called me, and he's like, "Hey, man," and he got fucked up from it. And he's like, "Hey, just want to give you a heads up," because I was just with him. He's like, "I've got COVID." I was like, "This was the day after Thanksgiving," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I thought I was a little bit hungover from last night, but maybe that's
Maybe
COVID."
that's it. Yeah.
But like, I woke up Saturday and I was feeling fine. I went and got tested and had it. Felt bad because I just had all family over at the house, so we're texting everybody like, "Hey, I had COVID, so just be
Heads
careful."
up.
Nobody got it.
That's good.
Yeah, no one else got it, and my only symptom was that next day. But again, like I don't know if it was because I was hungover or what, and I had a little bit of stomach issues, but that was about it. And I was fine come Monday, like nothing.
Yeah.
So,
It's probably the hangover.
like I
Yeah.
said, that's what I
Get
thought.
ya.
Like, yeah, maybe that Rakia that the Bosnians,
Yeah,
those
get ya.
Bosnians,
Get
the
ya.
Bosnians drank, man, like, that killed that virus.
Yeah. Shit'll kill everything.
That kills everything
Yeah.
else.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, but that was the thing is like being down in Jefferson County where my office is. They just did the 2 weeks and we
Yeah.
were right back in our office.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything just normal.
Yeah. And then I
most
think
part.
there was like a regulation, like you could only have 10 people in the office, which our office is, we run the teams that are run out of my office are run thin. And we've got, we have five on our team. And then the other team that's in there is 4. So, and I'm not ever in there.
Yeah.
Like I think I've been in there 6 times this year. And if I'm in my office, I'm not doing my job.
That's true.
So, so they're in there, and so really, like at any given time, there at most there's probably 8 people, and so we never had any issues, never got any complaints or anything like that. So, but it did. I mean, the way it changed our industry, I think it changed it for the better.
I agree.
From my perspective, because like prior to COVID, like homes would hit the market, and it was like immediate, like hey, they would hit the market like at any given day of the week. And then I'd have clients calling like, "Hey, I need to get like this house just hit the market. I need to write an offer today." They're, so because they weren't doing this whole coming soon on Friday, coming live Friday, accepting offers Sunday or Monday, and all that. So now, like that's been great because now it allows home buyers to take their time to
Yeah,
get
'cause
through
it used to be just like,
process.
oh, house came on the market. Then he was just basically like the first one to get there and submit an offer.
And submit an offer.
And
a
they give
cash
him,
offer.
give him a, they'll give him like a 4-hour response time. So it's like you got to pretty much respond to this thing within the next couple hours, or the offer's no good anymore.
We're
So,
moving on.
yeah, and so, but now it's definitely changed the industry just because it gives people way more time. It's like you don't have to go see it Friday the second you get off work. Let's go see it on Saturday. We got plenty of time. We spend way more time there. We can even go back for a second look if you really need, got the time. And so that really changed everything. And I mean, for the better, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like things are getting somewhat back normal minus interest rates, but I mean, it still seems like we have a shortage of inventory.
Oh, for sure.
here,
We're
right?
going
Like,
to be
it's
short
still-
for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's changing anytime soon because they just can't build houses fast enough to catch it up.
And there's
no
just
other
not
way.
enough land, plus the workers, plus supplies and everything that they need to build a house. Costs
everything,
gone through the
yeah.
roof. Like, yeah, I mean, we've seen some of those costs come down to build a house, but I mean, you think those builders are dropping their prices?
Hell no.
Yeah. So,
No.
right. I mean, that's the thing is I we're gonna have this inventory problem for a long time. I mean, you got the largest generation ever, baby boomers, who now like probably I'd say probably 90% of them own their home free and clear.
Yep.
So why the hell would they want to leave? Especially after COVID, what did we learn? We really want to go to a retirement community or like senior living facility? No, like
And something gets passed around
Right.
and it just wipes out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
So-
staying in their houses.
Yeah. I mean, and so, and then now what we're seeing is those people are passing it down to kids or grandkids because there's no homes.
Yep.
So it's just going to continue that trend until, shit, I don't know.
we'll see. But I don't see it changing anytime soon. But I do think I agree with what you're saying. I think things are slowing down a little bit. Like I'm not seeing, every house get a million offers like it
Yeah,
did,
like used to.
like it used
Yeah.
to. I mean, but it is, you get the right house that's super. It's always the house that's super updated and just like really cute pictures and has the house is basically moving ready with
Priced right.
Yeah, price right is everything. And those ones will get multiple offers. But if you just have like a average normal looking house, I mean, there's a chance that you get multiple, but the chances are are slimmer than they were. Sure.
Dude, like I remember like 2021 and 2022, getting a phone call like once a month. Hey, you want to sell your house? I'm like, you can go where?
Right.
Yeah. Where am I gonna go?
Right.
Where do you want me to go?
Well, I have little key for that. If someone ever calls you, just tell them you're a real estate agent. They'll hang up.
Oh, fair
They'll
enough.
hang up on you.
Yeah.
Which, instead of you hanging up on them, they'll hang up on you.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm like, hey man, I'm a real estate agent, real estate investor. You're really calling the wrong person.
I just like to tell them like, what would it take for you to sell your house? Give me $1 million.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna
Yeah,
say.
people will say that too.
Give
Yeah,
me $1 million. I'm like, well, we see
but
your house
here's
as
the
this.
problem. Here's the problem with that is then they'll go back because the chances are that person's like a VA calling you, so it's someone that they hired to call, and they're probably in the Philippines or something.
Sure.
And they'll be like, because I've hired VAs to do that before, and then they'll call me and be like, hey Zach, we got a lead on someone that wants to sell their house. And then they'll send me the notes from the call, and they're like, oh, this person said they'll sell it for $1 million, and I look it up on I pull up Zillow or something, and it's like, okay, the Zestimate is $240,000. I don't think that's gonna happen. So I know that guy because like they couldn't tell that person was fucking with them.
Yeah.
Like they didn't. It's their not their
they didn't
first
get the
language.
sarcasm.
Yeah,
Pick up on
they
the
didn't catch the
nuances.
sarcasm,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're like, I got a great lead for a $1 million house. I'm like, and I pull it up. I'm like come on,
It's like, no, he's fucking with you, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got-
Yeah. Then I eventually, like, the girl I was having do it, I showed her. I was like, all right, well, next time pull the house up on Zillow and because that's, I don't always say go by the Zillow, but like if you just want to get a rough idea of what something's gonna go for, like, yeah, that's a good way to get it's a good way to get you in the ballpark. It's not gonna
Sure.
be 100% accurate, but it'll get you within 50 or 100K of probably where it needs to be. And
which is close enough.
yeah, close
Mhm.
enough
Yeah.
to know that they're gonna that they're fucking with you. I had to explain to this girl that like they're messing with you here. Like you got to kind of catch that.
300K Zestimate million.
Yeah, that doesn't line up. This guy's messing with me. So yeah, just tell them you're a real estate agent. They'll hang up on you.
I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but getting back to what it is that you do, what made you decide to get into? I know you did the whole booking of the bands, but what made you get into the overall event planning of things like that?
Dude, like I don't know. I've just always like really been into entertainment.
Mhm.
I mean, like I wanted to be a rock star, man. Like I was growing up, like I just wanted to like play on stage and sing and play guitar and like
Fuck yeah.
yeah, do guitar twirls and toss them across stage every night.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this isn't gonna happen. So I was like, but I can like do something that entertains people, and I mean that's what really got me into it. It was funny. Like I was in college. I was like, well, maybe I'll like. It's like I started as a finance major. I was like, oh, I'll do this whole thing, maybe go trade stocks or do something boring.
That's what mine was.
Yeah, I was gonna do something boring.
I'll make money doing it.
Yeah, it's like at least I'll make money doing it. It's like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll go to law school. I'm like, that shit sounds terrible too. Like every lawyer
Another
I talk
5
to,
years of school. Fuck.
yeah, like every lawyer I talk to, they're just like, don't do this shit.
Yeah.
Like this is miserable.
Yeah.
I love events. And so me and my buddy Dan, we just started promoting concerts in college. I was like, well, let's just see what happens. And it worked out. So I just kind of kept doing it.
Was Dan your partner?
No. He's out in New York now. He works for an agency out there. He's great at what he does. So he's on the representative side. So he's repping acts. But I like the event side because no day is the same, right? Like we're always doing something new. Every project's different. You have some challenging clients, and you have some clients who are just like, here's the budget, here's our idea, go have fun,
Run with it.
So, what's been to date your favorite event that you've thrown or put on?
Damn, that's tough. There's a couple good ones.
Okay.
We have a client in town that's actually really cool. They're called Urban Sprouts Child Development Center. The woman that created this, Alicia Lanier, she wanted to create a place that kids from underserved neighborhoods can like just come and have like this awesome, just like great education, kind of a bougie experience, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's like in the hood, there's not a ton of great
Right.
daycare options, right? Like they're kind of run down. And 65% of the families that go to Urban Sprouts receive some type of financial assistance, right? In this place, like every time I go there, I always joke, like, this is like the Princeton of daycare. Like this place is insanely awesome. Like I have friends that live out in Manchester, Missouri that drive to U City where this place is and drop their kids off every
Oh
day
wow.
because of school. Gardens, playgrounds, they're expanding now to where parents can come if they're from an underserved community, where they're going to be able to have like banking service and like a nurse practitioner on site. Like it's some pretty cool shit.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But they do like this really big event every year. It's called Gala and Blanc, and it's usually between like 500 and 600 people. And invites only go to about like 60, 70 people a year. So it's super exclusive. Like you
Mhm.
just can't hop online, buy
Get
tickets.
this.
Like you have to get invited to
Mhm.
it. And like that person is responsible for filling their table. Thing is, like this woman has like really cool vision and is not afraid to push the envelope of like what these stuffy galas were in town. So it's like, so every single one we've done with her has just been over the top.
Really? How many of them have you done?
This year, this is our fourth one. So Keener Plaza, Big Top, City Park, which was really cool. We just did Cortex Tom Commons this year. So it was our fourth one with it. We also do the Blues and Brews season kickoff for the St. Louis Blues. That's a fun one. Um,
Awesome.
if you
Yeah.
like blues hockey,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Absolutely.
Who doesn't?
yeah. Blues hockey, country music, and it's a good time.
That's pretty cool.
It's a good time.
Where's that go on at?
That's at the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you usually have like a couple thousand people show up to that one.
Now, do the blues players actually come and all that?
Blues players are actually there every year.
Sweet.
So they do they usually pick like 7 to 9 players to get on stage, and they do a moderated session for like 45 minutes. They'll walk around, sign shit, and yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. So how many people are in Big Blue Spark? Is it,
There's 4 of us.
Okay.
So it's me and my business partner, and we have 2 other producers. Yep.
Gotcha.
So small but
keep it
mighty.
small, yeah, dude.
Well, dude, I think
Dude, that's where it's at, man. I think when you start scaling things too big, I mean, personally, I've never been there, I guess, with anything, but I can just see it just getting it. You're just creating so much more work too, and it's I don't know, more work, but I guess you can grow it bigger too. But I don't know. I just think there's something super valuable about keeping something small and controlled, and like you're really involved. Doesn't lose your touch.
well, I think that's super important in agency life, right? Especially like if you're a service, and it's hard to scale a service. Easy to scale a product, right? Like I can well, this is easy. Like, I'm gonna say we're gonna put 100 grand behind marketing this, and we're gonna sell. We know what we get from that dollar.
Right.
With the service, it's like, well, it's us.
Mhm.
Right.
We're the product. And I've seen agencies go from 1 person to 10, 15 people, and the next thing you know, they're back down to like 4 people. Like you lose one key account, it's just game over. So my thing was always like, well, if we can kind of keep our core to where things are like our core element of the business, like this is being done right in house. I don't have to worry about hiring freelancers and stuff like that. Like I can just look across the rooms like, hey, I need this. Um, and then if it's outside of that core, we can have like these preferred freelancers that we go to. But also, like what's great about keeping like because we're keeping our overhead down, right?
Mhm.
So it's like we're competing with other agencies that are bigger than us, and we're winning because people are just like, dude, there's just so much more value in
Yeah.
your budget. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm still making the margin that I need to make. I'm not paying to have a staff of 10 people.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
you're keeping costs low.
Yeah, I'm paying 4 salaries. I'm not paying, 20.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy to see even like the size of clients that are now coming to us, right? Like work with Barnes Jewish Hospital, Greater St. Louis Inc., Anheuser-Busch. And it's like, yeah, like you guys might be
Huge
small.
companies here in town.
Yeah. Like you guys might be small, but you guys get the work done.
Right.
At a price
At a
that
price that makes sense.
we
for us.
like. And especially like post COVID, like, man, I don't care who you are. These days of like just unlimited budgets are gone. They're gone. Even my buddies at Anheuser-Busch, like sometimes it's like, hey man, like this is my ceiling. like legit my ceiling. Like, just don't have any.
Yeah, especially after
Right.
the Bud Light thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was,
All those people got fired. So
Yeah, well, that was a rough
Yeah,
move. I
that
know
was-
they lost like billions of dollars.
it was the dumbest thing they've done.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, just
they
they're
regret
stupid.
that one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like,
Know your crowd.
Yeah,
well, I think just
customer.
like not to like, and like not to make it political, but like you just like your marketing plan just wasn't even to the right demographic. Like, do that shit with neutral or something, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
do it with Bud Light.
yeah, that's it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, first of all, that audience isn't drinking Bud Light in the first place.
right?
Right.
Like,
But yeah, you think of your average Bud Light drinker. No, they're not.
dude, like if we go to a gay bar on in the Grove,
Right.
I wonder how much Bud Light they're selling, even before the.
Sure, I
Right.
would love to know. I mean,
Not
it is the most
much.
popular. It was, was the most popular beer. I'm sure it's not now. Probably not anymore. I don't know. But I know it was like the most popular beer and like that was ever served. And then I know that for that those numbers have fallen significantly now. So I'm sure they did sell Bud Light there, but not to the it. You didn't win a bunch of people over, and more
100%.
people are drinking it
Yeah.
now. It definitely seemed to go the other way because they kind of turned on the people that loved them, or is what it seemed. And nothing's
they
worse.
took it personally.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's worse than when Kid Rock shoot your beer with a machine gun.
Dude, it's fun. So I've actually, and he's back to drinking Bud Light.
Yeah, he
I've
is.
actually done a Kid Rock show before. I
Really?
booked, yeah,
Really?
I booked him for R.J. Reynolds back in the day.
Sick.
He's a nice guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's actually a really nice guy.
I believe it. I mean, I've watched him on. I've listened to him on Rogan before, and apparently he's got like he has his house in Tennessee. It's an exact replica of the White House, but it's only got
He's-
got 2 bedrooms, and then they put an elevator like right when you walk in the front door. He's because they were like, Kid Rock, where do you want us to put the elevator? He's like, I want it to be right when you fucking walk in because I
Yeah.
want someone to walk in and be like, man, this Kid Rock's got a fucking
He's got a
elevator in his
fucking
house.
elevator in his house.
And apparently he's got a bathroom that's like, he's with like 100% gold toilet.
I mean,
Wow.
well, yeah. I mean,
It's just like,
it's
Yeah.
fuck you money at this point.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, you got to do that. You're fucking Kid Rock,
Right.
you
Dude,
know?
And he's just a down old country boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
pretty
just-
much.
Yeah.
That's he is exactly that dude. So like the show was in Vegas. He was flying in. It's like an hour before meet and greet was going to start, and I'm looking at his manager Lee. I'm like, "Hey man, kid's not here yet." He's like, well, "He's leaving this winery out in California. Like he'll be here."
California?
Yeah, I'm like, "All right, bro." Like meet and greet starts, and he's like, "Yeah, an hour. Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here." Like this dude just got paid $500,000 for this fucking show. Like
he better be.
this guy needs to be here
Jeez.
on time because I don't want to listen to these execs like on mass. Like, yo, where's this guy?
Yeah, where's your boy?
Yeah.
And he made it.
Oh, he was there on time. Shows up in a white T-shirt, Levi's. I'm like, I go greet him. The show was, how where we do the show at the Venetian, and he gets out. He's like, "Are you Kevin?" I'm like, "Yeah, hey Bob, nice meeting you." He's like, "Yeah, cool. Let's go to my room. Here's my dog." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Just take me." So take him upstairs, carrying this guy's little doodle. He's in a cowboy hat,
This makes sense.
jeans,
Yeah.
and a T-shirt. Goes down to the meet and greet. Have to pull him away from the meet and greet because he wanted to shake every hand. Sign up. I was like, Bob, we gotta get you on stage now.
Yeah.
And he rocked it, man.
That's
He
awesome.
put on a hell of a show.
I love Kid Rock.
Oh man, just think about that. Those back in the early 2000s, the music that came out. I mean, there was some good,
Oh, fuck
good
Yeah, some good
music.
stuff. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, I think that today's stuff. I mean, I feel like now I know how my parents felt like listening to our stuff. They're probably like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I feel like that happens with every generation, you know? Like I still go back and I listen to a lot of the same shit that I listened to in high school, and like even like that's like still some of my favorite. I mean, there's new music that comes out that I do like, but I feel like I always revert back to the shit that I loved when I was like driving around like right after I just got my license and I'm 16, 17 driving around in my first car. Like it's like some of the
Yeah.
shit that I still fucking jam.
Emo wasn't a phase, just saying.
No, 100%.
No.
I still listen to that stuff. Actually, speaking of that, I mean, I've been jamming out to Beartooth's new album. You ever listen to that?
I like Beartooth. Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
did. I just kind of discovered them, but their new album's sick.
Is
I've
it?
been,
dude.
I've been listening to a lot of it.
I
I've
just
been
went
listening-
Just went to the Under Oath show 2 weeks ago in St. Louis.
Yeah, I
it
saw
was,
that they
it
were
was
in town.
It was 20 years of their only Chasing Safety.
Damn,
Really?
that's sick.
I was like,
They came out 20 years ago. Dude, that's crazy.
Which is 20 years ago is 2004.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah, because when you say 20 years ago, I think like mid-90s.
Yeah,
You know?
because it still feels like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, like, time just fucks me up.
Just like we're standing around the pageant. I'm looking around. It's like it's all people my age.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's all the old folks.
Yeah, like a little bit of gray coming in. We're gonna be complaining about our knees and hips later.
Just rocking out.
Lot of the Masters division in here.
Dude, I'm gonna be Masters 2 in February.
Damn, dude.
Stoked.
Yeah.
When's your next match?
I don't know. Yeah.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna do the Austin Open February, and usually like I did NOLA like 3 years in a row, and I didn't do it like the last 2 years. I think I might go down to that too.
Still haven't done an IBJJF. I need to do. I don't know why.
It's a well run tournament. Like if you don't want to just deal with the bullshit, like
I've done like probably 20 Fujis at this point, or I mean not 20, but I've probably done 10 plus Fujis at this point.
I think the older I get, especially now, like we have kids, I'm like I can't be here all day. Like I
Yes.
want to start. I want to get this shit done like an hour and a half.
Bro, the last time
And they're pretty efficient, IBJJ.
It's the
Yes,
best.
yeah,
It's
like
the best.
the time that they tell you you're gonna compete,
It's
like
the time you compete.
yeah, it's whereas the Fuji one, like the one that was most recently, like the times changed like so many times. Like the last Fuji I did, it was so frustrating, and I'll never do both gi and no gi in the same day again at a Fuji because I went at like 9 a.m.
That was brave of you.
Bro, it was so stupid, and I'm like, oh well, I'm here, might as well do it, you know. But I competed I competed in the gi at 9 a.m. Felt fucking awesome. I was really proud of. I won my first match, lost my second one on an advantage. You know, it was like a really close match, yeah, I think it was an advantage, but it was a really close match. Really happy with both my performances in both matches. And then my next match wasn't until like 5:30 or something. You know,
Sounds
so I
about right.
basically fucking sat around for like 9 hours. And I'm just like, you know, and then I went out and I think I won one, lost one, but the one that I lost, I was like, shouldn't have lost that guy, you know, or I just didn't want to be there.
Well, you get to the
anymore.
point you're like mentally out of it.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
like, well, I sat there
Right.
and watched a fucking 100 matches. My voice is gone from
Yeah, of
yelling.
course.
I'm like, it's just, I was like, I'm never doing both of them again
And
like that.
I think like, and especially like the older I get and like the deeper you get in this game, like when you're out there because the level's just getting high. It's like you have to be selfish,
100%.
you know. So it's like sometimes like if I don't watch your match or whatever, it's not personal. Like,
Right.
I'm just trying to keep myself.
Yeah. Looking back
In
on
the
it,
right
I should
headspace.
have left, you know, knowing that I wasn't going to compete. But there's the thing with Fuji that could fucking change on an
It can
instant. All of a
change
sudden,
an instant.
that 5:30 could get moved up to 2:30. You know, because like looking back on it, I probably should have just left, went home, took a nap, hung out with my kids, and then maybe come back. You
Yep.
know, and I probably would have just felt. I would have gone into it feeling different for sure.
For sure.
But instead of sitting there, you know, walking around, being on my feet all day, yelling at the other, you know, yelling at all my friends competing and, you know, cheering for them and stuff. And then by the time you get back there, I'm just like, oh, I got to warm up again. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm like kind of already, you know, it's weird. It's always weird to me is how like you'll get like sore after like a competition, like after a match, whereas like, dude, I train 4-5 days a week, you know, and I'm like, not sore when I'm rolling live in the gym, you know, but all of a sudden you get a competition match and you're like, fuck.
It's a different round.
It's a different round,
different
you know,
round, man.
but you know, that like soreness, stiffness was like starting to kick in and you're just like,
Well, this one is like after that match in June, I was like, man, I got off that match. I'm like, oh man, I felt great. Next day,
Yeah.
everything hurt. And the thing is, like, man, it's like I do rounds with Connor.
Yeah.
Like we got Connor, Chance, Matt. Like
you got a tough gym.
there's like
Especially
there's some-
being a guy your size like me, you know, we're about
Yeah.
the same size. Cause like anytime I go to Revive, I'm like, fuck, these guys are big.
It's gonna be a long hour.
God, these are some big old boys out
Yeah.
here.
Well, like everybody that I've heard talk about Connor, he's not gentle.
No.
He's,
Fuck no,
he's
man.
just,
No.
He's not, dude.
No. Yeah. He got to wait him out. That's the strategy.
Yeah, I tell Connor sometimes, dude, I love Connor, but it's like I'm just like, yo, dog, I got to be in for it, bro.
which is crazy to think like where his energy level is at all times. Like he never, I've never seen him dip below like a 10 on the energy level. And
So I'm tired in Austin. It's the first time ever.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing is like, like if he were to get on testosterone, holy fuck, like
Yeah, it'd be a problem.
what the hell?
Game over.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
For everyone.
everyone.
So we always say in Revive, man, if you're under 200 pounds, you're a victim.
Yeah. It's so
Right?
funny.
Like,
Fuck. If you're under 200, you're a victim weight.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, what do you weigh, like 170-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured you were probably about the same size. I don't know. Have we ever rolled together? I don't think.
Dude,
we
I don't
have.
think so, man.
I don't think so. I was thinking about that on the way here. I was like, yeah, I have. I can't. I've only been to. I mean, I've been going to Revive on Fridays a lot more lately, so I'll see.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We just got out of busy season, so I'll definitely be out there. I used to go to Watson's too a little more often, like during the week.
Yeah.
It's like Monday or Tuesday.
Monday,
or
Wednesday
like that.
open mats. Yeah, those are really good. I usually make those. I usually make the Monday ones because Wednesdays we do this, but I usually always do the 10 o'clock class and then hang out for like 30 minutes to an hour of the open mat right afterwards.
Dude, it's just crazy, just like how many of us tag teamers there are. So it's like there's so many people like that I haven't even met yet. And things like
dude,
that.
I know.
Like,
It's crazy. Like, I mean, with Watson's as big as it is, dude, I constantly run into people. How long have you been training here?
dude, Kyle, man.
And he knows every single person.
Knows everybody.
You want to talk about an amazing business owner?
Yeah,
dude,
holy shit.
It's incredible. What he's built there. It's so cool. He's so good at what he does, and just how organized he is with everything, the curriculum and everything. Like he's got the whole year planned.
Yeah, like he's
Does Junior run his similar?
Junior. I don't think Junior does the curriculum, but Junior and Jess, man, like they're also like fantastic business owners.
Yeah,
like
I feel like that's what you see with a lot of jiu-jitsu schools is like, just because someone's good at teaching jiu-jitsu doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a good
100%
business owner.
They're both great at like getting people in the door and like that's also super important. Also just like the culture, and I think a lot of it's pretty similar to Watson's. There's just not a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Right, which is super funny because you don't necessarily think. Typically, it's really a bunch of guys, right? Like between both gyms, it's probably 80% men, 20% women.
At least, yeah.
And just like how dramatic some men can be.
You get all those guys in there that are beating up on each other and talking shit,
Yep.
and shit it can get. But Kyle's real good at snuffing that shit.
Yeah, it's like
he
not
cuts
here.
that shit out, cuts
Not
the
here.
cancer
Yeah,
out.
but you also got to remember. I mean, there's a respect. I mean, you got everybody's in there busting their ass, getting their asses kicked, and so there's a mutual respect that you have because you're building that camaraderie. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's some gyms out there that don't really have that, or guys that go too hard, or take things a little too serious, but like, I remember, Trevor got on that one guy that visited when I was rolling with him, and he started manipulating my wrist, and that's when my elbow popped,
Yeah.
and they were immediately like, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
So.
See, if that would have happened at Revive, he would have gotten flogged.
Yeah. Well, they would have just given you to the mat enforcer.
Yeah,
would have given you Chance or one of the other big purple belts or somebody.
Dude, that shit happened a couple weeks ago, man. Someone
Really?
came in being a little rough, and
Yeah,
they put some dogs on him, dude.
We're gonna do your next 2 rounds with these guys.
It's like, hey, you won't be back at Revive.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that was like the first time I went in and went out of from basics to fundamentals,
Yeah.
And they were like, nope, you're gonna roll with these guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to fundamentals.
Yeah,
And I was
welcome to fundamentals.
Yeah,
You're gonna go
within-
roll with the purple belts.
like, within 10 seconds of my first match with, I forget who it was, he had me in an armbar.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to do that. A little
Oh,
bit, right?
absolutely.
Like,
Oh,
I
for
think every
sure.
Gym has to.
Yeah.
You gotta
It's like a rite of
experience-
passage.
It's right of passage.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like we're setting the tone. It's like, hey, this is our house.
You got to realize this shit works.
Yeah.
It
you
works.
know, like that's what I, because everybody, I think when they probably first tried jiu-jitsu for the first time is like, you're going in and it's like, is this real? Like having wrestled, before doing jiu-jitsu, I was like, okay, well, this is a whole different thing. I knew about it, but I was like, well, I'm a wrestler and I work out, I lift weights, and I wrestled in high school. Like, I'm tough, and then I go there and I've told the story on the podcast a million times, but Amanda Clifton just subbed me like 3 or 4 times in a 3-minute round, and I was like,
She's
what the
gnarly.
Yeah. Oh, she's an animal. Like her and
she's
I,
gnarly.
we do CrossFit and shit together now, and but I remember she just beat the fuck out of me my very first day, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah, she's
because I was like, I'll go with
impressive.
this girl, like
Yep.
I'm not gonna let girls not gonna beat me up. Yeah, I can't tell you how many.
I've never seen her do jujitsu, but watching her in the gym, holy fuck.
Yeah, she's a freak.
Yeah,
athlete.
she's gnarly.
She's very good at jiu-jitsu, but she's also just like athletically, like just the weight that she can throw around and like the times that she can get on some of these workouts. It's like,
The
She's
men-
incredibly
just-
strong.
Yeah,
Yes.
the mental toughness that she has to just push her body to the absolute fucking limits to where she just crashes is insane.
Did you guys see that? You see that burpee mile that they did?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't.
but-
I mean, I saw.
Yeah,
I've
I
only
saw-
seen the
yeah.
clips
Yeah,
where they did
that
a
was stupid.
burpee mile,
Stupid.
where they do a burpee and then a broad jump burpee,
Burpee.
for a full mile. I'm like,
You know, I didn't see any brothers out there doing
yeah,
that.
nope,
Not one.
Nope.
no,
And I wouldn't have been the one either.
no. I was talking about that with Gina last night. She was like, "Why would they ever do that? Like, and that's not even like something to brag about." I was like, "Well, because it's CrossFit, and we enjoy fucking punishing ourselves."
Yeah.
Like, but yeah.
Well, I mean, anything else you want to promote before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, not really, guys. I mean, just thanks for having me. It's
Of
been
course,
fun
man.
sitting down.
sure.
Yeah, Big Blue Spark.
Big Blue
Okay.
Spark
Yeah, we
for
do
all
shit,
your
yeah.
local events here
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
Absolutely. And one last thing before we let you go, we always like to surprise guests with one last question. It's called the Tombstone Game.
Let's do it.
Here lies Kevin. What's it say on your tombstone?
Oh, that one fucking guy. That's what it says.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fucking
that fucking guy. That's perfect. I
Yeah.
love it.
That's
We'll leave
awesome.
it at that.
Perfect. Well, we
Awesome.
appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thanks,
for having
man.
me, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for so much for tuning into the episode. Remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button for us. We'd really appreciate that. Click that like button, comment what you guys thought below, and we will see you next time.